from my hometown, Lake Arthur, Louisiana. She's a 5-year starter in basketball and softball, district MVP her junior and senior year, All State 2A MVP her senior year. She holds the record for most single season and career rebounds in Lake Arthur High School and most points, single season points in Lake Arthur High School. She's a Class 2A champion and she's a senior at Nicholls State University. Want to welcome Deonna Brister to the show.
Hi.
So, first, if you want to start off, talk about your upbringing, and I know you played like every sport possible growing up, but if you want to let everybody know all the sports you played growing up.
Yeah, so when I was younger, I started in softball more, and that was like my life at first. And then I moved to Lake Arthur back home because my dad was stationed at Fort Benning, so we lived in Alabama. But um yeah, I started playing basketball when I moved back here. I was about 10. Then I really started liking it, getting used like in the groove of it. I started loving it. And yeah, but in high school, I did track, softball, basketball, cross country, and I did dance. Yeah.
So, so I have a thing. It says when you was a freshman in a cross country meet, you beat 17 college girls times in that meet. Like, what was the feeling knowing that you beat those times of those college girls?
Well, I didn't even know that they were running at the same time as us. I
Hmm.
just thought they were like another high school or whatever.
Hmm.
But when they said that, I was like, "What? Like, what? What's going on here?"
Yeah, you pretty for me, just once y'all moved there and you started doing all the high school stuff. I had moved away already, but seeing everything on Facebook, and I'm like, man, I wish I could have witnessed some of this stuff, live in person, right? So, your junior year, you went to state, y'all got runner up, and then your senior year, y'all end up winning state. What was the motivation just after taking the loss in state? What was the motivation going into your next year?
The feeling sucked because you were that close,
Mhm.
and so like we just used that like heartbreak kind of to just drive us to push even more, and just really want it the next year. I mean, we only had one more chance to do it for our seniors, and like for me for my class, so
Mhm.
we just had to get it done.
And what was like, if you probably being, the leader of the team, what were you telling like your teammates, going like during the senior season?
Just if you want to be here, be all in, because if you're not, then there's no point of wasting your time and our time.
Hmm.
I mean, it
Okay.
sounds kind of blunt, but I mean,
Sometimes you have to be that way. it, it's always good, to let make sure they understand, being a leader and wanting to win state, like that's a really big accomplishment, no matter the 1A, 2A, and in that situation. But that's is always good, seeing the videos and seeing how like passionate you is, about the game. Like, what caused you to be so, passionate about the game of basketball?
just kind of grew up around it, really, because I mean, my mom played, my dad played, so I was like, I'm gonna play. I
Hmm.
mean, when I first started, it was a little church league, but and then little dribblers here in Lake Arthur, and it just turned into something that I loved, and just something that's been my life since I was about 10 years old.
Hmm.
So a
And
decade.
uh-huh. And you said you played softball, from at your younger ages. Like, what made you choose basketball over softball?
Just when I started getting to middle school, I like Coach Skeeto. She kind of just helped me find that love more for the game, and it was just I don't know. It's just different. It's more upbeat. It's faster. It's kind of more competitive, I would say. I don't know. It's just I just love the atmosphere of it.
Okay, no, that's good. And you go like you said, you did cross country, track, basketball, softball. Being really good in all those sports is difficult, right? A lot of people it's difficult to be really good in one sport. So how did you just balance out just making sure you was able to be what you wanted to be in all those sports?
Each sport kind of rolled into the next. Like basketball, well, cross country season was before basketball, so that helped me get in shape for that. Then basketball season helped me stay in shape for track and softball. Just it kind of all just like fell into each other, and it just worked out, I guess.
Okay, okay, that's good. You was part of the first softball team to make the playoffs. What was that feeling like?
Uh, I mean, like when I was little, I was well younger. I was on like really competitive travel softball teams. So like when I moved to Lake Arthur and like we heard that like they never made it to the playoffs, I was like, "What?" Huh? But I mean, just to be able to be on that team and just like be the first of something at that school, it felt good. And I was I think 8th grader maybe 7th or 8th grade. I mean,
Mhm.
yeah.
Yeah, what was that feeling too? Like, you started playing varsity at a younger age than most people would. A lot of people they ninth, 10th grade starting on varsity. You was start on varsity for 5 years for basketball and softball. Like, what how was the feeling like, when going into practice being the younger one? What helped you push yourself to compete with those girls?
My teammates never showed me like any animosity that like I was
Mhm,
younger, starting above them. Like they were always like encouraging, so I
okay.
never really had trouble with that. So I mean, I'm thankful for that too
Mhm.
because I know some people do go through that. But I mean, I'm just really competitive. Like I wasn't about to sit on the bench. I'm sorry, I'm not. I can't do it. I want to be out there playing. I can't
Mhm.
watch. So.
Yeah, that's understandable. And then now you're going, you're in Nicholls, you're a senior now. What was your recruiting process like?
So around I was going into my sophomore year of high school and that's whenever I received my first official offer from Coach Payne at Georgia Southwestern. I had went to a camp, an elite camp up there. We had drove all the way up there to Americus, Georgia, and he had offered me on the spot over there. I mean, I cried. I cried. I was a little baby. And then like I held on to that offer and then going the summer going into my no, during my sophomore year season,
Mhm.
I have received my second offer from Nicholls from Coach Doobie Plaisance. And then COVID hit. So no, this was my junior year. So COVID hit my junior year and I had committed in around March ish, April.
Okay.
And it's crazy because Coach Payne was my first offer ever, and now he's my coach now at Nicholls.
Mhm.
So it just made a full circle.
Mhm. Okay. Okay. That mean that coach had a lot of confidence in you, right?
Yeah.
He knew what he was getting. If he got you for he wanted you at the other school, then he switched schools, and then gave you the offer at Nichols.
Hmm.
Okay. Okay. After your first year of college, what's one thing that you feel you could have worked more in high school to make you a better college player?
Mm,
I know you
I,
good. I know you really good now. So
no, I have an answer. I have an answer.
okay.
Probably lifting and my ball handling because I didn't realize like how much stronger people are in college
Mhm.
because we didn't lift in high school at all.
Mm.
So like when I got there, like everybody was already like pushing 25s on the first day on each side as a warm up, and I'm like, my trainer told me to start off with the bar, so I was like, okay. But yeah, just going in stronger and probably my ball handling because I am considered smaller at the collegiate level.
Okay. Because I know one thing that you can do is shoot the ball. That's one thing, right? So you hold. We'll go back to the high school, right? You got the record for the most rebounds and points in Lake Arthur High School. What's that feeling like?
It's nice to have that. I mean, like, not many people think about those things
Hmm.
when, like, you just think about Lake Arthur High School, but, like, just to know that, like, if somebody asked, like, who has the most rebounds at Lake Arthur, like, they would say
Hmm.
my name, like, and it
Right.
feels good because I earned that. And just like rebounding is probably one of my favorite parts of the game, honestly.
Mm.
Just the grit and hard work about it, just boxing out and go and get it. It's
Right.
nice. I like that.
Yeah. Yeah, that's the part of the game that a lot of people don't like. They just want to
Yeah.
see the ball go through the basket. So right, you get to Nicholls, and now you have girls that's could probably been there 3 4 years already. So
Mhm.
what motivated you to just go in and get to their level, right? Because some of them, like, you came from a smaller school, right? You didn't lift weights, like you said. Most of those girls, they've been through the program already, been hitting the weights a lot. What motivated you, to be like, hey, I need to get to this level, and like you want to be a starter on this team?
Uh, Again, I don't like sitting the bench,
Mm, work.
and I knew that I was there for a reason, and I just had to prove myself to my coach and to my teammates that they have trust in me to be able to start my freshman year as a freshman. I mean, yeah, it's just, and they had my back. Nobody, again, no animosity for a freshman starting over seniors and juniors and fifth years. It was just nice having that family culture behind me, having my back and everything.
Okay. And so your junior year, you was awarded the Unsung Hero Award. What was that feeling like once you got that award?
It was nice because I was nominated by my teammates.
Okay.
And then after my teammates nominated me, the Student Athletic Advisory Committee, they voted on that. So just knowing that, like, my school kind of saw me as somebody that, like, does the little things and, like, tries to help out and, like, is one of the biggest cheerleaders for my teammates, just like that they see that and they voted for me for that, just it's a nice feeling.
Okay. Who is your biggest role model? And if you had have a favorite basketball player, who was your favorite basketball player growing up?
Katie.
Okay. Okay. And was he your biggest role model?
I mean, growing up, honestly, I didn't watch much basketball, not
Mm.
like I do now.
Hmm.
So, like, growing up, I mean, I guess my role models were my parents because, like, they were the ones playing with me and everything.
Okay, okay. Hey, that's understandable. Not many people have both parents around, so that's a plus for you. And I know your dad. He's your one of your number one fans out there. So it's always good. Speaking of him, like, he sent me a message. He was like, "Hey, you need to get Deonna on the podcast."
Gosh.
Shout out James Brister out there, man. What's been, if you can share one memorable moment that you've had since playing, so let's start off, so go from at high school. I mean, probably state championship, but just say, talk about your most memorable moment in high school and then in college so far.
So, high school, it is winning the state championship.
Mhm.
And then, like, just like after that buzzer went off, I didn't even hear the buzzer went off go off because everybody was screaming so loud.
Mhm.
Because I was just holding the ball, letting the time go out of bounds, and they're like, "Don't pass it in." I was like, "I'm not." So, like, I just saw the rim because it was at Southeastern. I saw the rim of the goal light up, and I was like, we finally did it. Like, it
Mhm.
took 6 years, but I mean, we finally got it done. And so, yeah, that's probably the most memorable moment in high school, and then college. Hmm. Probably my first ever collegiate basketball game was against LSU.
Mhm.
And, like, that's just something like you never forget. I mean, I'm a little freshman out there playing against these fifth year, sixth year seniors
Mm.
at a Power Five college. Like, I was terrified, but I mean, that's just something you'll never forget. Like, and like my teammates were like, "You're gonna be okay. You're gonna be okay," and I ended up being okay. But that's just something I never forget. I'll never forget
Mhm.
my first collegiate basketball game.
Okay, so your very first collegiate basketball game was that's a welcome to college basketball
Yep.
moment right there.
Yep.
Hey, but it's a good feeling, knowing that you can be on the court with those girls that made it to that level of college basketball.
Yeah.
What sets you apart from other athletes?
Mm, I don't think there's well, I mean there is clearly something because I made it to the collegiate level, but honestly it's probably just the work ethic and like the drive because it's not easy. I
Mm,
mean, a lot of people like they get here but they don't stay here. I mean, you got to have a lot of love for the game and you got to have a lot of grit and hard work and willing to sacrifice a lot because I live 2.5 hours from home, but like I barely get to see them. So like
mm,
that probably hits a lot of people sometimes, but it'll be worth it in the end.
okay. How do you balance the sports and then your academics?
So we have like free tutoring, we have free like writing centers. Like if you ever need help, they have so many resources that can help you. Like there shouldn't be a reason why you don't pass really. And we do have an athletic advisor. Shout out Delaney. She's awesome. Like if I'm ever like struggling or need help, she will get me in contact with whoever I need to help me. And then like on the road, the bus has Wi-Fi, so we doing my
Oh,
homework on there. So
wow.
and like we have study hall, mandatory study hall from 6 to 8, so that helps too. So
Okay.
there's not a reason why you really shouldn't do your work.
Okay. No, that's good then. So being, from a small town, Lake Arthur, what's your biggest thing that you feel needs to change in the community?
Mm, Probably, I understand not everybody has the like ability to do this, but like just playing AAU because
Mm,
that helps like translate into high school. Like AAU is like 10 times harder than high school because it's the best people around like in
right.
one city on one team traveling to play the best in those cities and people that are traveling hours and hours on end to go play somewhere. So just the competition that you see in AAU is different than high school. I mean, it made high school, I wouldn't say a breeze, but it made it a little easier and it prepared me for every season that I ever did. So I would say like just getting your kids into AAU. I mean, it'll be worth it if they
Okay.
really love the game and you find a good program.
Okay, that's good. How does basketball impact your life off the court?
Mm, I would say like because basketball like it's my life now. Like
Mm.
recently I've been thinking about it because this is my last year playing college basketball, and I'm like, what am I gonna do after this? Like, what? I have to get a job, like. But I would say, every basketball is more than just a game. Like it teaches you teamwork. It teaches you work ethic, drive, just dedication. And all that translates into the real world and real life. And even like your communication skills, like being able to talk on the court with people yelling, everything else, makes it easy whenever you're just talking to somebody at your job or something.
Mhm.
So I'd say just like those key things.
What's your role on your basketball team? Like, are you you have leaders, but then you have different types of leaders. Like, what role do you play on your basketball team?
So I was a captain my sophomore and junior year. So I mean, if people anybody had questions, I was there to help them. Like if they needed help with plays, I was helping them, walking through it with everything. Because with the position that I play, I gotta know 1 through 5
Mhm.
because I could potentially play. Well, I'd say 2 through 5. I could play any of those positions at any given time. I mean, and if coach needs me, I need to be ready. So just being able to help my teammates like understand and actually know the plays and stuff because that is key. Because if you don't know the play, I mean, it's not gonna work. Everything's just gonna fall apart.
Mhm.
So just being there, like being a resource to my teammates to be able to help them be the best they could be.
Okay. And we'll bounce around a little bit. Talk about, you making it, to state even in track. Like I know you said, cross country, you start cross country, then you go into basketball and then, the other sports. How do you just how are you so competitive? like,
I I just hate losing. Like I am a sore loser. Like we will play
Mhm,
cards or something,
mhm.
and if I lose, I will be mad and I will not want to play anymore. And then I'm gonna come back and I'm gonna try again, and it's just a whole cycle. So just, I mean, losing wasn't really an option.
Okay. No, that's good. It's a good mindset though, like because most people they like, oh, I lost, oh well, on to the next. But you like, no, no, no. And
No.
that's like I have a so my daughter, she's 11, she plays in the softball world.
Hmm.
Pray for me. But like it's really serious here in the Houston area, but she's like a very quiet, shy kid. Don't talk much. Just like to go do her job. Okay, right, and that's it. It took. I think one coach said it took him like a whole year for her to get a few words out of her. Like, and I mean, not just for mines. Like, what advice do you give to any kid that have that shy mentality? Don't want to talk much.
It's okay to be shy, honestly, but there's at one point you got to be able to like talk on like the field or the court
Mhm,
or anything like that. Like communication is key, especially whenever you get to a higher level because everybody, whoever's on the court or on the field, that's who you got. You don't have anybody else. Right.
mhm,
So, and sometimes it's 5 on 8 because the refs are bad, or it's, you know, or 9 against what, 11 or 12 on the
mhm,
softball field. So just being able to like talk and like bond with your teammates and have that chemistry with them, that'll help like open up to each other and just being like yourself. I mean, you don't have to talk like be the most bubbly person or anything like that. I mean, don't
mhm,
change who you are, but just being able to like talk with your teammates. I mean, and if you have any questions, being able to ask those questions. Like if you have something you want to say that like you think they can improve on, let them know. I mean, it's only going to help them. And I mean, there's certain ways to say it. So don't get me wrong. I mean, don't just like go badger people about
mhm.
like, why didn't you catch that ball or whatever. But like just being able to like, like pick them up and then be like, hey, like next time, like just drop your butt a little more, you got it. Or like put your glove all the way to the ground, like stuff like that.
Okay, okay, that's good. What advice would you give to a younger girl that's coming up? That's I mean, in any sport that's just trying to get to the next level.
You gotta love the sport a lot if you want to play at the next level because it becomes your everything and you're doing it 24/7. Well, 24/6 because we have to have one day off a week. So just loving the game and like just being able to be dedicated and stay with it. And I mean, you got to put in the extra work. You can't just do what you do at practice and expect to get there. I mean, some people do because they're just blessed and
Right.
freakishly talented and
Yeah.
stuff. But I mean, if you really want to get there, you can. And I mean, there's always a place for somebody to go if you really want to go.
Mhm.
It may not
What?
be Division 1, but
Mhm.
it's something.
It's
There's
something,
always
right?
something.
Right. Yeah. Because a lot of these kids, that's all they think is Division 1. Like that's the only thing out there. When the lower Division 2, Division 3 JUCO. It's perfectly fine just as long as you get into that next level.
Yep. I mean, free
Mhm.
school is free school, and I mean, you
Ex-
can always work your way up. You
Yep,
got 4 years to do it.
yep, exactly. So what's a typical day during the season for you, and then what's a typical day out of season for you, off season?
So in season, we wake up at 6 a.m. Well, we have three different shooting groups. I'm in the middle, so they have a group that goes before me. But I shoot at 6:45. We have a shooting workout, uh, probably about 3 or 4 days a week, and then I eat breakfast. I go shower. I go to class. I go to treatment because I got bad shin splints. But I go to treatment. Get ready. Get taped for practice. Practice starts at 12. While I eat lunch, then go get tapes and stuff, and then start stretching. Practice from 12 to 3. Lift right after. Film right after that, and then it's about 5 o'clock at this point. So you got to go hurry up, eat dinner, go shower, study hall at 6, 6 to 8, and then do it again. Yeah,
So off season, what is a day like once the season is over?
it's a lot more chill.
Hmm.
We because in off season we work more like skill based things and like position groups.
Okay.
So like I'm with the wings or the forwards, and we work on like finishing at the rim or shooting or pull ups or just one on one moves, anything like that, counter moves. And but we wake up, go to class. Uh, we usually he'll send out times. It changes every now and then. It just works with like your schedule with your classes or whatever. But it's usually around like noon to 1 ish, about an hour of work, and then we'll lift, and then yeah, we'll have study hall that night.
Okay. Do y'all do like is it a lot of team bonding there?
Yeah, we have family Fridays. So like
Okay.
every Friday, like the team gets together and like we might go hang out at the pool or whatever with pizza. Or we did like during Halloweenish, we like got foam skulls and like we painted them. And it's just like different things that we would do on Fridays.
Okay. Okay. Do
Oh,
they?
and sorry.
Uh
We would have
huh.
to do a team scout before we did the scout that the coaches gave us. So like
Okay.
even after a game on a Thursday night, after the game, we had to stay and do film on
On the
the
next
next
game.
team. Yeah, because we play that
Mhm.
Saturday. So that Friday practice, we're getting ready for that Saturday game, so we gotta have it done before then. So yeah, it,
And then after the Saturday game, you got to do for the next game, or
he
do
gives
you get a
us
day off?
he usually gives us some time to be able to do the Thursday game, but we gotta have it done by around like Monday or Tuesday.
Okay. Okay, well, that's good.
Yeah.
What's one thing that you miss about like being home during like while you did there at college?
So for Christmas, we get like 5 to 6 days off. I
Hmm.
mean, thank the Lord, it's like Christmas Day that we get to, like in those days. But like Thanksgiving, I haven't been home for Thanksgiving in 3 years. I was either in Arizona or Mississippi playing a tournament.
Hmm.
So I mean, like it's just kind of like because I'm a very family oriented person. Like I grew up, I have a big family. Like family is everything.
Hmm.
So just like not being able to be there sometimes, it's like mm, that
Yeah.
kind of hurts. But I
Mhm.
mean, I know that I'll be able to do those things again once like I'm done playing and I graduate. So
Okay. How do you mentally prepare for your games?
I listen to Christian music.
Okay.
Yeah.
I was gonna ask you that. What music do you listen to? But
Yeah.
okay, you answered that. And how do you handle like pressure situation? Let's say you in the game, y'all down a basket. y'all needed enough basket to tie, or to go overtime, or a three to win. How do you handle those situations, and how do you get your teammates to handle those situations?
Talk my teammates up, like, you got this. It's just another play. Like, whatever happens after this, I mean, it's God's will. Like, you got it. I mean, don't overthink it, because if you overthink it, then it's not gonna
So,
probably you're probably not gonna do the best you could do.
mhm,
But like myself, I just try to think of it as like we still have 5 minutes left,
mhm,
because that kind of relieves some of the pressure off of you, and just trying to not think of it as like a do or die situation. I mean, I
okay.
know it is, but like just like just giving all I have in that moment, because you never know when it might be your last.
Right. Yeah. And you only have certain amount of years to go, so you just gotta live it and handle it the best way you can.
Yep.
Yeah, that's what I always tell my kids. Like, if they just, I mean, what can you do? You do the best. If you don't give 100%, give everything you have. If not, then maybe you'll feel down. But if
Mhm.
you give everything you have, it don't happen the way you want it to go. I mean, on to the next. You can't
Yeah.
press rewind, so you have to just keep going forward. Um, hold on, let me get to this. How do you unwind after a tough game?
I call my mom or my dad or my sister,
Mm,
and like just kind of vent, I guess. Like, even
okay.
if it's like I'm frustrated at myself, like, and they'll tell me, they'll be like, I mean, if you gave all, like you said, if you gave all you got, I mean, what else can you do? But they'll tell me like things like I could have done, or like things I need to like think of in those situations. They try to help me out to prepare me if I'm ever in those situations again, like just try to talk me through it or whatever. But or I just listen to music and like just stay silent and just kind of decompress.
Okay. What do you set goals for yourself before the season, and if so, what are those goals?
Mm, honestly, like I don't set number goals,
Mhm,
because like it can fluctuate. Like you never know what's gonna happen.
mhm.
But I do set goals as of like being one of the hardest workers, always making my times and running. Like it's like more of the little things like that I set myself for. Like always want to do the extra.
Okay. What's your go-to drill that you do? Let's just say you have a little bit of off time, and what's your go-to drill that you can do to just anything to help you get better at your craft?
So well, I don't really even know the name of it, but coach has us do it. But like you just like crab dribble across the free throw line, then you drive along the lane line, and then you just finish. But like you change up your finishes, whether it's a spin move or a reverse layup or just a up and like stop, reverse, shot fake, whatever it is. Just like mixing it up some. And it helps whenever you have somebody hitting you with the pad too.
Hmm. Help you finish through contact. That's
Yeah.
that's that's real. That's good. That's always good. To help you finish through contact, because these days you watching games on TV. Everybody wants the little small little ticky tack fouls, right?
Yeah.
And sometimes you might get those, sometimes you don't, but you just have to keep playing, right?
Especially in the Southland. You don't really get that many calls.
No, they let y'all play.
Yeah.
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 So is that, like, knowing, that do that not, I won't say force you, but do that motivate you to just get stronger and stronger?
Yeah.
No, okay. That's good. What's the importance of teamwork?
Without a team, like especially if it's a team sport, like there's a point,
Mhm.
there's a reason there is a team. It can't just be one against five or whatever y'all, whatever you think it is. There's no
Mhm.
I in team. I know it
Right.
sounds corny, but it is true. There's pieces to a puzzle that like all come together. Like you have to use them and they all have to work together. I mean, without if one piece falls off, like it's not complete. Like you gotta have all five people all in, giving everything they have 100%, or it's just not gonna work.
Let's say you have a teammate, maybe had a bad week, have a tough time in practice. What motivation, do you give them, going into game day?
I like you just try to talk them up. I mean, like pump their head up a little bit, like especially if you know they're a good player, because I mean, everybody has those days, everybody has those weeks. I mean, everybody's human. But I mean, I just gotta tell them that it's in the past. You know how good you are. You know how well you can play. You know you can do this. So let's just go out there, just let it all go, and just play.
Okay, that's good. How do you stay motivated and like push yourself to be the best you can be?
Mm. Again, I don't like losing, and I know that
Keep saying it. That's really good though.
I
So
hate losing. So like maybe if I'm pushing myself to be the best I can be, that can motivate somebody else to see okay, she's really working, let me try to be on her level or whatever. And then if everybody's all on the same level, all willing to give all they got 100% every day, then I mean you're gonna have something great.
hmm no, I agree. I agree. How do you like unwind after a tough game?
Just like I talked to my family, my mom, my dad, my sister, or I just listen to music or read a book. I like reading. So, yeah. Or I'll
That's good.
rewatch
Now,
the film
oh, okay.
and I'm like, what was I thinking? What was going through my head?
So when you watching film, you got a chance. You can see the bad, the good, right? What's the
Mhm.
main thing that you're looking for while you watching film?
Whether I gave everything I had or not. If whether it looks like it or not.
Mm-hmm.
My body language, everything.
Because body language speaks numbers. Like
Yes.
that's one thing that you can't hide body language
Mm-mm.
at all,
Nope.
at all. So as in body language, right? How do if you see your teammate right have bad body language, how do you pick them up? Tell me what would you tell them as in to pick them up?
Coach always says in practice, if somebody's head is down, you lift their chin up. Literally walk up to them and lift their chin up.
hmm
So I mean, and giving them a high five, telling them, let's go, leave it in the past. There's nothing you can do about it now. Just keep moving forward. Just because I know, I do it. I'm guilty of it. If I do something stupid, turn the ball over ridiculously, what? I'm I might drop my head a little bit.
hmm
But I mean, my teammates are there. They're like, "You're fine. It's good. Just whatever. Next, let's just get it back."
hmm
So it's just, yeah.
Okay, okay. What's the hardest part about being in college, other than being away from your family?
Mm, Probably just balancing everything. Your your basketball, your practices and everything. Your
hmm
school, a social life. Like you can have 2 out of 3 during the week. You can't have all 3.
hmm And
So
especially going to college, right? You got people there, people that don't go to college there, right? And if you don't have a straight mind, you could easily fall off into the wrong crowd. So how do you stay motivated and stay away from the trouble?
I just really stick with my teammates because we all have the same mindset. We're all there for a reason. We're all there for
Mhm.
the same reason. And I mean, like I've made some of the best friends from my teammates from all different parts of the United States or even the world.
Mhm.
So just being able to have them because they're going through the same thing I'm going through every day. And if somebody's struggling, they know why. They know what's really eating at you or whatever. And I mean, just being able to have your people with you there.
Okay. What advice would you give a kid coming up, during the recruiting process, like as in, picking schools? Like, what advice would you give them on that?
My dad said this like long ago. Don't pick a school you want to go to. Pick a school that wants you.
Hmm.
Because if you want to go there, you're gonna find yourself sitting on the bench and not playing as much. But if they really want you and they're adamant about you going there, they want you there for a reason. So I mean, and go where you feel comfortable. It feels like home, and that like you have a relationship with your coach.
Hmm. Okay, yeah, that's very very important because a lot of people just choose, oh, this school's nice, this school, oh, maybe I should go there, then get there, and then
End
they
up
sitting on the bench. Yeah, that. So, and since you brought up the transfer, what do you think about the transfer portal, the good and the bad about it?
I think it is good because some people do find like a place where they are happy. But the bad about it is that like kids coming out of high school, like it's hard for them to find somewhere because some people are going to pick a college transfer who already has experience at that level over high school. So I think it's harder for high school kids now to get recruited. So I
Okay.
think that's kind of meh.
And the NIL, what do you think about the NIL?
I love it. I mean, I love the fact that we can finally make money off of what we do.
Hmm.
Like
Yeah.
it's time that
Right.
college
All the
athletes get.
years been going, and they've been making money off the kids, and now y'all can actually make money off of yourself. That, yeah, I agree. I
Yeah.
agree. And so my final question would be, who would you like to see on the podcast? But your answer, you will have to help me get your answer on the show.
Okay. Mm.
You have a cousin that just went there.
Caleb Robinson.
Keep it in the town. Keep it in the
Yeah,
town.
I'll
Oh,
try to get him on here.
okay, okay. I mean, if not, then who would you like to see on?
Hmm. Man.
I love this question.
mm, I'm just like going blank right now.
You got teammates. You
I
got.
know, but I'm just hard to pick one.
Oh, okay. We can have a group session too. That's fine.
Okay. Um, I'd say I'm gonna keep it in a town still, and I'm gonna say either like, mm, yeah, okay, wait, uh, Jill Poulard, my other cousin.
Mm, yes, I know exactly who you're talking about.
Yep.
Yes. So, hey, if we can get her, that'll be amazing. Let's just say, because I know she have a story to tell.
Hmm.
Hmm. Well, Deonna, I want to thank you, for giving me your time, and it's always good to hear from somebody that's been through it, and actually you're still going through, college, and you can give advice to young kids, that's trying to get to your level. So I really appreciate you for giving me your time.
Thank you for having me.
All right. All right. Bye.
Bye.